This week on Honeymoon Destinations, we feature Ceylon Tea Trails, the luxury resort that converts classic colonial bungalows used by British tea planters into an exquisite hideout filled with Victorian charm, spectacular views, and of course, the very best of Sri Lankan tea. Ceylon Tea Trails is a group of luxury bungalows located in the pleasant valley of Bogavanthalava. Amongst the tea planting community, Bogavanthalava is known as the Golden Valley of Tea. Its narrow roads, lazy towns, and old-fashioned routines slow the world down just enough for newlyweds who seek a romantic getaway. Add its soothing climate and breathtaking scenery into the equation, and you've got a true honeymooner's paradise. The unique thing about tea trails is that all the bungalows are located on working tea estates and are connected by very walkable trails, just like this one. If you're driving from Colombo, you can easily get to Ceylon Tea Trails on the A7 or the Hatton Road. When you pass the sleepy town of Dikoya, the sprawling Castlereagh Reservoir with its picture-perfect waters ushers you into the Golden Valley. Modelled after the famous whiskey and wine trails in the west, Ceylon Tea Trails take visitors back to the life and times of British tea planters in old Ceylon. Instead of humdrum hotel rooms, guests get to stay in 4 luxury bungalows that were used by estate managers during colonial times. And guess what? They even have names. Tiensin, Norwood, Somerville and Castlereagh are spread out on working tea estates that offer guests a truly first-hand experience into the making of Ceylon tea. The really unique thing about honeymooning here is that you can spend each night at a different bungalow and wake up to a new setting at no extra cost. You can easily make out a Tea Trails bungalow from its charming picket gate and cute little stone security house. My first stop on the trail was Norwood, which was originally built as far back as 1890. You can't help but notice the roses here. They come in all shapes and sizes. Have you ever seen an orange rose? Ha! Almost got you there. When one thinks of an estate bungalow, what usually pops into your mind is a rustic little place to which you can escape to with a barrage of people from the city. And of course, there's the faithful Appu that slaves over your every wish. You may wonder what's so romantic about this, but if you follow me, I guarantee your conventional view of an estate bungalow is going to be shattered. The Ceylon Tea Trails prides itself for offering all the 5-star luxuries of a regular resort, but still creating a homely, cozy setting for its guests. Design-wise, it hasn't changed too much from the traditional estate bungalow of the good old days. The bungalows still have many of its distinctive features, like the silk and satin dressed living rooms, grand dining rooms with mahogany sideboards, and large verandas with plenty of garden space. Gone are the cramped lounges and busy reception areas found in other hotels. Instead, the living spaces seamlessly open out into one another, creating plenty of quiet corners with wonderful ambience. The quaint pieces of antique furniture and ornaments add to the lingering sense of a bygone era. And of course, the teak floors, long corridors and cute fireplaces work wonders for earnest romantics. Gardening was one of the much-loved pastimes of planters, and at tea trails the tradition is still very much alive. Each bungalow is surrounded by lush greenery and charming flower beds. Layered lawns and paved terraces with pergolas offer plenty of shaded walks and quiet retreats. It apparently takes more than 20 gardeners to keep the gardens at all 4 bungalows in perfect shape. The place is teeming with Kodak opportunities for couples with cameras, but if I were you, I'd leave such distractions behind. Three of the bungalows have pools, with beach chairs positioned to give you the best possible view of the mountains, covered with trees and sprinkled with little bits of civilization. On a lucky day, the slow-moving mist adds a mysterious angle to the view. Most bungalows have secluded summer houses at a vantage point in the garden, and if you ask the butler, he'd set it up with candles for private dining. It's time for the romance meter for tea trails. As I mentioned earlier, this place is absolutely beautiful, so get ready to click tons of pictures of beautiful surroundings, spectacular sunsets. I mean, you will get lost in nature over here while you also get lost in your partner. My favorite thing about this place is that the interior and exterior spaces have been designed in such a way that they blend in so perfectly with barely any boundary. Even if the bungalow is fully occupied, you still feel secluded enough to have your privacy. And finally, the weather is perfect for cuddling all day and all night, so I give it 9 out of 10 for romance. Meals are served in open-air patios where you feast on cuisine made with vegetables, herbs and teas fresh off the very gardens that surround you. But make sure you're a master of table etiquette, as 4-course meals are the order of the day. At tea trails, you can also enjoy the traditional English afternoon ritual known as high tea, served up with scones, cakes, and cucumber sandwiches, complete with fresh cream and strawberry jam. Yum yum. The really unique thing about all the rooms in all the bungalows is that it's named after planters who have lived in each bungalow. For example, if you look over here, it says Goddard, which basically means Mr. Goddard at some point lived in the Somerville bungalow. Let's go inside and take a look at what this one's got to offer us. The rooms at tea trails are very spacious, with large windows that let in plenty of fresh air and sunlight. The decor is somewhat austere and minimalist, with hardly any tinge of modernity to spoil the idea of immersing oneself in tradition. Its crowning glory, however, are the signature 4 posters, the Bed of Kings and the King of all beds, with elegant lace curtains and soft white quilts. Some suites come with easy access to private gardens, where the pleasures of the scenic outdoors of the hill country are reserved just for its occupants. Definitely the kind of place you'd love to lock yourself in with your partner. This is the bathroom. As you can see, the original structure has been maintained. The only thing that's new here are the fixtures and fittings. My favorite thing about this bathroom is the matching his and her sinks. That way you don't even have to do your morning routine without each other. And on this side you have the bathtub. My favorite thing about the bathtub is that it's a very colonial looking one, not like the ones you get in the markets these days. It's not very big, but it's a cozy fit for two. My next stop was the picturesque Somerville bungalow, perched right above the banks of Castle Ray, where I met the general manager of Ceylon Tea Trails, Asela Vervita. So tell me a little bit about the activities that you've got planned for the guests who come here.
Tea Trails, of course, has quite a long list of activities that can be done here, starting from the tea experience. Being inside the tea estates, you need to experience how tea is manufactured. So we call that the tea experience, and that is actually carried out by a veteran planter called Andrew Taylor, whom you'll be meeting in a while.
Okay.
And he actually does the tea tour where we take the guests through from tea plucking to tea tasting,
right
the entire
end.
manufacture up to tea tasting.
What about the outdoor activities?
Outdoor activities, we see every bungalow has its own walks.
Okay.
1 to 1.5 hour walks, as well as the walks from bungalow to the other.
Okay.
And then along those we have the biking trails.
And there's a picnic that can be thrown in, right?
Inside the estates, all the walks, there are places where we can arrange a nice picnic, a very, very private picnic for the guests. And also the bike rides through the estates.
Okay.
And some of these rides are fantastic, so very, very scenic and very, very beautiful. And we are very, very close to Adams Peak. I think we are about hour and a half from
so
any
during
other bungalows.
season, you must have a lot of people
the
going there.
season starts in December and goes on till May. And we have quite a lot of guests who actually do the Adams Peak. But the thing is, you need to at least spend a minimum of 3 nights.
3 days over here.
It's recommended that they stay for 3 nights so that you can get a full feel for tea trails.
Tell us a little bit about the cuisine. I mean, I've tried out the food and it's absolutely exquisite.
Tea trails, I think it's quite very well known now for its cuisine. We have Sri Lankan as well as Western. We do a lot of tea infused cooking as well.
Okay.
And that's one of our my chef's specialties.
Okay.
And we do a lot of fusion cooking as well as Western dishes. Most of the guests have compared it to Michelin star restaurant food, so that speaks for itself, I think. A trip to Ceylon Tea Trails isn't complete without taking part in the tea experience tour with the planter in residence, Andrew Taylor. Andrew is an actual descendant of James Taylor, who introduced tea to Sri Lanka in the 1860s. He was kind enough to give me a little glimpse of his famous tour on the front lawn of Somerville.
Now, the tea experience is a rare opportunity for the guests who come to Tea Trails to get an insight into everything that takes place from the time we harvest the tea shoots until the tea is processed and till it leaves the factory.
Okay.
So we give them a thorough insight into everything that takes place there.
So what are you going to show me today? Why do we have all of this here?
Yes. Now here we have put out 4 cups of tea for you to taste, and now Sri Lankan tea is unique in the world. So here we have put out teas from 4 different elevations, and you are going to see how differently they taste.
And what is that over there?
That's the spittoon. You've got to take a good slurp and spit it out, and then look for the different taste in the teas.
So wait, everyone at home is going to see me spit on TV.
That's a rare experience. Now here, this cup is tea from the lower elevations of Sri Lanka, sea level to 2,000 feet, around Galle, Benthata, those areas. Just get the difference in the taste, right? Do a good slurp and out it comes.
It goes by the aftertaste, is it?
Right, aftertaste.
Okay.
Yes, you get a lovely, robust feeling, right? Very thick, bitter, but it's a very...
Tish.
It's tish. Okay.
Yes,
yeah, lots of strength. Then we come to the mid-country teas that are grown in and around Kandy. These are milder, very good for the afternoon teas. Then we come to the upcountry teas at an elevation of 4,000 to 6,000 feet above sea level. It's quite refreshing, and more refreshing than
this one. Yeah, this one is like a hit on your tongue.
Yeah.
Tea is here to stay, kind of like that.
Now we come to the teas from the high elevations, right? In and around Noor area.
It's like water flavored tea.
With more of astringent nature. That is what it's famous for.
I think I'm getting the slurp, by the way.
Very good.
Yeah, the last
So
time
next
I got it. Yeah, for
a
sure.
cup of tea, in public. Do a good
Slurp it
slurp.
up. Thank you so much for taking the time out to show me all of this.
You're most welcome.
The experience at Ceylon Tea Trails is the definition of lavish. If you're one who likes living in the lap of luxury and want to do it away from the island's cliched getaways, then look no further. But my recommendation is that you try and stay here at least for 3 nights to partake in the trails and stay in as many bungalows as possible. Reach-wise, it's incredibly convenient as it's well connected to all the major air routes in the hill country, thereby making it a breeze to run up to the north or scoot down to the south. Okay, so budget-wise, it's in the higher tier, but if you ask me, it's worth every cent that you will spend, as this is indeed an experience of a lifetime. That's it from ETV Made in Sri Lanka's honeymoon destinations for this week. Until I speak to you next time, be well, keep the love going. This is Christina signing off.